if that's something you're interested in. So now we're into picks and bans. This is going to be fantastic. In the blue trunks, we have Nexus Gaming. In the red trunks, we have Complexity Academy. First band out, going to Lee Sin. Not really surprising. Doom Trobo has been an absolute monster on his jungle Lee Sin for the last couple of days here in Montreal, and he's put on some incredibly strong performances. Vladimir, another targeted ban coming out here. Shen against Dragon Rouge, played that I think 3 games already, with some very, very impressive performances, very well coordinated ultimate ganks, and some amazing flash taunts. So certainly, not bad bans, but they're also very well targeted. Let's hold on one moment, please. Alright, sorry about that, folks. I have a small technical difficulty with our live stream here in the cafeteria. If you're in Montreal, if you're in the area, you should drop on by, come meet the players, come see the games. It's been lots of fun so far. We've had a lot of people who've been awake for 36 hours, going on 40 hours at this point, and giving you some pretty fun action here. So, last couple of bans coming out, Jarvan, Thresh, Orianna. Jarvan also pretty much targeted Doom Trobo. He's played Jarvan in the games he hasn't gotten Lee Sin. Thresh been very, very strong in favor of Nexus before, and the Orianna we've seen an impressive performance from as well. So not only are these champions semi-standard, but they're pretty targeted as well. And that first pick Vi was key in their victory earlier today. Twisted Fate, if that gets taken away from their mid laner on Nexus, that'd be pretty important. That's he got I think a triple kill, or 3 early kills rather, in their game beforehand, and ended up with his map presence really kind of swinging the game in Nexus' favor. Now we're switching over to Evelynn. Now, I personally am a huge fan of Evelynn jungle being on my team. She applies lots and lots of early pressure because champions just can't afford pink wards early on, and if Evelynn can get in a lot of early damage, she does tons and tons of damage early in the game, and if getting in early ganks can really kind of either swing a lane or the whole game into your team's favor if you get it set well enough. Now, Sona and Corki being hovered over here for Nexus. Sona is one of my favorite supports. She's not my favorite. Nami's probably my favorite to play with, but Sona is incredibly useful. Flash crescendos to engage, or crescendos to disengage, or to hold an entire enemy team in check if they engage on you. Works very nicely, and Corki's damage is actually incredibly, ridiculously strong right now. They can delete champions completely off the face of the map. With the changes that have been made to Triforce, he's been brought back in strength. That 200% damage boost on your next attack after spellcast is incredible, particularly on champions like Corki, who just constantly can, pump out his missiles to continually get those procs. Now, we saw Rumble come out from Complexity before. Not sure if that's going to be kept. I'd be surprised if it got thrown away. His Rumble did decently well. We'll see what this last pick here ends up being. Ashe Zyra. Now, that actually is looking like a pretty strong team over here. That the ability to pick off champions between the Ashe Arrow, Zyra's Root, and Evelynn on the flank, because she's invisible, is really, really quite powerful. And if Sona and Vi are not really on top of getting that vision done for Nexus and really keeping the jungle illuminated, they're going to get picked off one by one, and that's not going to be very pretty for them. I'm kind of interested to see what happens. If this does end up being a Volibear picked up here, it could be Volibear top lane, or it could be Vi in the top lane, and it looks like we are going to get that Twisted Fate picked up. No, it's going to be Renekton there for top lane. and Twisted Fate gets locked in as well. So Twisted Fate, again, being a strong global presence, we'll see if he is able to have the same kind of impact that he was in the last game. But Renekton was actually banned out in these teams' last meeting, as was Elise, who I don't see being played this time, and Zed is left to the last pick. Normally, because he's such a strong assassin and so powerful, Zed is normally snagged up really early, and just my initial thought looking at these teams is that there's a very big advantage going to Complexity, and Galio being hovered over, now Trundle. He's just trolling with that. And there's the Zed's going to be logged in. So, Legendary going to be on Zed in the mid lane. Legendary's played some incredibly strong assassins in the last few games. Every time we've seen him so far, he's been putting on very, very strong performances as everyone from Ari to Zed, and, you know, well, A to Z and everything in between, I guess. I'm kind of interested to see what Corki's rune page looks like here, because a lot of people don't really know just how much magic damage Corki puts out. And Corki's missiles, his ultimate, actually do magic damage, as does his Phosphorus Bomb. And while the Phosphorus Bomb is known, the missiles, a lot of people really underestimate the amount of magic damage that you end up taking from them. So adding the 10% of magic penetration that he does have is going to be crucial in getting some very good early damage on, and Ashe is going to have a very tough time in lane because her and Zyra are both very, very squishy targets, and Corki can burst them down quite easily. So, yeah, that being said, though, Ashe does have a significant range advantage over Corki. Ashe at level 1 has the second highest range of any AD carry, Caitlyn being the first, and Tristana, I think, after level 12 or 13, passing Ashe and Caitlyn. So Tristana eventually ends up getting more, as does Kog'Maw with his W activated, but Ashe is able to put down a lot of poke onto Corki in lane, particularly early on. If she saves that critical strike for Corki's face, then Corki's going to really have the bad end of a trade. Twisted Fate did pull the Ghost Flash like we've seen earlier today against Zed. That's going to make him very, very safe in lane because, again, Zed does kill Twisted Fate incredibly easily. Twisted Fate has very few things that he can actually do to escape. He can ult out, which is a waste of global pressure, and other than that, he can just gold card you and run away. So that second and a half stun is the only thing that he has defensively other than his summoner spells here. And if Zed is able to blow one of those, either with his ult or before he hits level 6, he can ult on Twisted Fate for free and get a ridiculous amounts of damage done and probably put out a kill. So we'll end up seeing how Twisted Fate ends up dealing with that, but I'm kind of worried about locking him in against somebody who's so known for playing assassins. Looking at the junglers here, I think Evelyn, especially early on, has a pretty significant advantage on Vi. Vi really only gets the ability to gank incredibly well after level 6 when she has that ultimate to lock down a target for a second and a half, get that suppress, and keeping them in one place, and following that up with the extra knock-up from her Q. Whereas Evelyn can just walk around site wards as long as she wants to and get a very early gank off. Yes, just to confirm what's being said in the chat, Nexus is 1-0 right now. This is a best of 3 series, and it has just started, but because Nexus advanced through the winner's bracket, they get the 1-game lead in the series. So Nexus only has to win one of the next 2 games, whereas Complexity has to win both to end up winning the tournament. And I'm sorry, I would respond to the Spanish chat, but I don't speak Spanish. You don't even want to hear me try. Now, the Rumble versus Renekton matchup is one that I actually like playing an awful lot. Rumble, because he's so strong, I guess like at level 3 when he gets all his skills, and at level 6, he really matches Renekton's power spikes quite well. So when Rumble gets powerful, when he gets his Slice and Dice and his Stun and his Massacre there, when he pops his ultimate at level 6, he's able to kind of drag whoever he's up against all over the floor. And Renekton with Equalizer, that brings another huge power spike to him, and that takes away Renekton's ability to fight quite significantly, and it'll turn any kind of trade that they have to do probably into a losing one for Rumble unless he's able to stack some MR early on. First contest of the evening, though, who has more skins? We've got 4 coming out here for Nexus, and, well, 4 coming out here for Complexity. So nobody really has an advantage in skins. Little fun competition, but I'm still going to give that to Nexus because Lifeguard Renekton or Pool Party Renekton is one of my favorite skins in the game, as is Red Baron Corki. So, thumbs up for the skins, guys. That's pretty awesome. Matching icons on the side of Nexus too. So, you know what? The heck with it. I'll pick Nexus coming into this fight. I do like their team composition. I'd love the ability of Twisted Fate to put on global map pressure. So, we'll see if he's able to avoid dying too many times to Zed, and if he can kind of help his team control objectives on. So we are ready to go. All teams checking in, and game will get started. So, Grand Finals well underway here in Montreal at Collège Maisonneuve. We have Complexity Academy versus Nexus Gaming, and apparently everybody wasn't ready. Let's see what the issue is here. Vi's just changing some settings. We'll get back into it shortly. So, first items, everybody here kind of coming up with pretty much the same kind of start. I'm going to swap everybody around to compare roles more easily here. Ash and Corki, standard start with the Doran's Blade. Supports each coming in with the same thing. You can see that the only difference I can see right now is that Sona has that extra pink ward, whereas Zyra doesn't, and Sona really needs that pink ward to be able to see Evelyn, because she can just walk past the regular sight wards just because she's naturally invisible, whereas the vision wards will be able to see her as she goes by for that gank. So it might end up saving their life, but I'm kind of worried about every other lane because nobody else has the ability to get that vision detection, that stealth detection. Other than that, everything looks pretty standard. Both teams here looking like they're going for an invade, and level 1, I gotta say, Nexus looks much more powerful than Complexity. Zed's going to take his W first. That puts him at a significant disadvantage early in lane. A Twisted Fate could really punish that by getting some good harass down on him early once they actually get to their lanes. Zed, obviously, with a melee auto attack, is kind of at a disadvantage already, but being forced to take a non-damaging spell early on makes him lose every trade before he's able to pick one, and Twisted Fate's got his pick a card. So he's able to kind of put some good damage down onto Zed anytime he wants. They've kind of walked over a ward here as they've gone over to red. Zyra has dropped 2 wards down at their thing, and Nexus has dropped 1 ward at Complexity's red, which is visible already. Corki is not seen coming back out of the bush, so they can kind of figure out that he's recalled. He's not going to stay there and wait. And they know that this ward is there because it was dropped on top of one of their own. Nexus doesn't know, however, that their entire side of the jungle is where they don't know they walked through a ward over by the red, and they don't know that they're going to have this ward in the bush here. So Complexity, very good with their vision level 1, knowing exactly where everybody is. Good defensive wards all over, and good very deep wards well. To kind of let them know what Vi's up to, what the other lanes are up to, let them figure it out. So we have a lane swap coming in from Complexity as well, and I think overall that's probably the better pick, because Rumble will be able to stay safer and far more safely under tower than Renekton will, because Corki has much less range and isn't able to harass the Rumble quite so much as Ashe will be able to harass Renekton. And Renekton can see the fact that it is a lane swap and is going to start taking Wolves for that early experience and recall for an item before Ashe and Zyra are able to push the lane to his turret. So he's not going to miss very much, and actually he does have an advantage over Rumble, as Rumble did not clear his own Wolves at the start. The only thing that kind of worries me though is if Renekton gets dived at level, while he's still level 1, if Evelynn finishes up her red and comes around, then that could go really badly for him, and he can end up giving up that first blood. But Evelynn's not really tanky enough and has no way to drop turret aggro, so I don't really see it happening, although they could try and emulate the pro scene and give that a shot. Yeah, Rumble actually just hit level, or Renekton hit level 2 the same time that Rumble has, so those lanes are pretty much even in CS as well. Quick look here at mid lane. Twisted Fate's got a small lead on Zed, nothing really significant. Doesn't seem to have pressed the advantage from forcing Zed to grab his W first and get an early trade down. So everything's more or less proceeding as expected. Ashe has a CS lead over Corki, which is kind of worrisome, but they haven't quite pushed in as much as Corki and Sona have. So it looks like Evelynn is coming around here. The Vision Ward is down, showing where she is. Zyra's going to miss Vi with the root. Evelynn's going to have to burn her flash to get away. She's going to be safe, but they're going to know that Evelynn did try for that gank. Every other lane is safe for now, and she's not able to get in a very strong gank later. Now, Vi doing a lot of damage can safely, I guess, later invade Eve's jungle, because Evelynn won't have that escape to get over a wall, and if Vi coordinates with Twisted Fate after he hits 6 to get a good pick off on her while she's clearing her second round of buff camps or something, then they could end up picking up a pretty good kill and set Evelynn really far behind, because, like I said earlier, Evelynn does so much damage. She makes up for that by being very squishy, and it's very easy to kind of pick her off as she's clearing the jungle, because she takes a lot of damage while she's doing so. A little bit the top lane. Vi is up here, kind of helping Renekton clear out those waves, taking a little bit of experience for herself. Not quite stealing, but it's not really too bad. Helps out Renekton a lot because he doesn't have that great wave clear later, and he is still vulnerable to getting dove. We're going to kind of watch here in mid lane. Zed's halfway to level 6, is ahead of experience from Twisted Fate, so he's going to be able to get that level 6 early on, and Twisted Fate knows that it's coming soon, so he's got Vi to cover the lane for him as he's going to recall and grab himself either another Doran's or a Sheen or Boots. There you go. Double Doran's and Boots, as well as a Vision Ward to keep him safe from Evelynn. I like the picks overall. The 2 Doran's are going to keep him tanky enough that he's going to be able to survive Zed's burst a little bit better, and that Vision Ward is going to be able to help him get some control over Evelynn's ganks and give him some warning that they're coming. Evelynn showing up here in the bottom lane, preventing the turret from going down, just as Vi was doing earlier in top lane. Ashe and Zyra, however, able to get down a little bit more damage onto their turret and took that small gold advantage for themselves. So although no kills yet, first tower does go to Complexity, and they're going to be able to lane swap right back.
Purple team's turret has been destroyed.
So, Ashe and Zyra weren't able to get to bottom lane quickly enough. The tower did go down. Corki Sona finishing that off. Rumble gonna go up the top lane and just kind of farm with Renekton there. The two of them gonna try and make up for what they're missing in the 2v1 lane. Vi clearing it. She's not quite 6 yet, but she's well on her way. She's not quite halfway there. And that kind of worries me. Like, Twisted Fate obviously knows that Evelynn is there. Saw her in the pink ward, but he gave it away that he knew she was there by throwing cards at her. If he could bait her into a fight, and then Vi could help follow up, they could really turn that gank around, because if Evelynn gets fought by Vi, she loses. She's just not tanky enough to survive Vi's damage yet. Early move out. It doesn't look like they're gonna, like, either team is gonna try for a very early dragon. Everybody's just kind of playing safely and farming. Pink wards and vision control are actually going really well for both teams. I think the presence of Evelyn on the map is trying to get everybody a little bit more conscious of the fact that they need to be more in control of vision, and the control, especially from Complexity Academy, trying to kill the pink wards from Nexus and maintain the guarantee that Evelyn is not visible when she goes in. Very important. Ashe seems to be waiting here, almost looks like she's going for a pick. If Evelyn can come in, the two of them together can probably pick up a kill on Corki. Corki's just hit 6 himself, so he's got a pretty big power spike. He does have his missiles available now, and did pick up his BF sword. So Corki and Ashe more or less even. Corki's not rushing that Trinity Force Rising. I'm assuming he'll pick that up at some point, but if he's going for a Bloodthirster first or whatever, it's not a bad choice, it's just a different choice. In the mid lane, Zed's grabbed his couple of long swords here, probably turning that into a Brutalizer and then eventually into Bilgewater for a Blade of the Ruined King. And I would expect to see Vi and Twisted Fate trying to set something up together now that Vi's hit 6. They can try and make a play somewhere across the map and hopefully pick up the team First Blood. If they can land it on Evelyn while she's jungling, that would probably be ideal, but picking off anybody really on the map is going to be possible at this point. Renekton's actually doing a pretty good job pushing the lane here against Rumble, but Rumble's got good wave clear and not going to take very much damage. Rumble's going to back off, get himself tanky. He's already got his Giant's Belt in his inventory there. Some good damage being put on a Twisted Fate. Zed knows how squishy he is and knows that he's able to win trades. Vi's kind of hanging around the jungle. Again, if she can pick something off, but both teams playing very safe. Nobody really wants to throw this game away, and I can't say that I disagree. This is, again, is the grand finals for the tournament here at WCG Canada, and if Complexity loses, then they lose. They don't have any more chances. They've already been down to the winners bracket once, but Nexus, if they end up losing this, they do have another shot. Twisted Fate ultimate goes down for vision. He's not going to use it to get it close to the fight. He kind of used it on the side here. Ashe arrow goes on to Corki. Corki takes a lot of damage from that. Good crescendo from Sona, locks up 2 people. Evelyn coming into the side plays lots of damage down to Sona. So it's like, no one's fallen yet. First Blood does go down to Twisted Fate with a good gold card onto Zed. Corki jumps over the wall. He's going to get Ashe. Flash is being burned all over the place. Great equalizer from Rumble. Corki picks up a double kill. Dragon Rouge on Rumble taking an awful lot of punishment. He's going to end up falling, and that's 4 for 0 in favor of Nexus. That was a very, very well fought engagement. So many things happened there, and I wish I had the ability to go and replay that for you, but didn't quite. So just off what I saw, or what I can remember at the very start, Ashe picked off a good hit onto Corki with her arrow, but nobody on her team was really able to follow up. And so as her and Zyra tried to engage onto Corki, Sona was able to get her ult across both of them and prevent him from taking enough damage to die, and enabled him to get enough damage that Ashe and Zyra had to back off. Renekton came in to try and play defense. He acted as a meat shield, stood in front of Corki for long enough, dealt some good damage to Ashe and Zyra, made them back off. Rumble had a good ultimate across, but at that point it was more or less too late. If he had really wanted to put that down, he had to put it across in front of Dragon Pit where everybody was standing before. And this game just swung pretty heavily into Nexus' favor with a double kill onto the AD carry and mid laner. Everybody except Vi only took 3 assists away from that, but everybody else I think had 100% kill participation. So Renekton with the 4 assists, Sona as well, and Twisted Fate and Corki with the double kills each puts them pretty significant gold advantage over Complexity here. And even though Complexity has that extra tower, the gold lead is still almost 3,000 for Nexus. And you can see that just in the items here. Zed only has Bilgewater and a couple of long swords, and Twisted Fate already has a Lich Bane finish. They're going to dive Doom Turbo. Doom Turbo gets bounced on here. Vi gets a good knock up. Renekton gets the stun, pops his ultimate. They dive the tower, and that's a very dead Evelyn. Looks like Twisted Fate with his Lich Bane going to help take down that tower. That's evens it out. 19.5k to 15.6. Twisted Fate's using his ultimate. Look, he's going to go in. He's going to get the stun on Rumble. Equalizer goes down. Great Stranglethorn's Equalizer combo. Equalizer burning for so much damage. Vi's going to fall. Dragon Rouge picking up the kill there. And Sona's going to get the kill on Rumble there. Not the greatest, but, you know, a death's a death. Corki playing very aggressive, getting a little bit bloodthirsty. Deathmark was popped, was not able to pick up a kill. And overall, another really good trade for Nexus. That brought the lead up by another 1,000 gold. Twisted Fate is going to grab himself the blue buff here. They're going to try and reset the game and start getting another push on. Because at this point, and as long as Nexus continues to try and fight, continues using Twisted Fate to get in, it prevents Complexity from being able to use Ashe and Evelyn's combination of her arrow and like flank from being invisible to great effect, and really prevents them from taking any advantage back. So long as Nexus is able to continually apply that pressure and keep that pressure on, then it's going to be a long, hard road for Complexity. Now, Corki, I'm curious to see how much gold Corki has in his inventory. He only has 900, so it's enough to finish off a Phage if he does go back and turn that longsword into it. But I'm curious to know if he is going to end up going for that Trinity Force early, or if he's going to turn it into something else. You'd see, I think most people are going for that Trinity Force first on Corki, but he took the Bloodthirster instead, which did give him a pretty good advantage in trades over Ashe, because his kit naturally is going to deal some more damage, and you know, beating her to that main damage item is never a bad thing. She hasn't even completed her Infinity Edge yet. You know, she's still on her BF sword and pickaxe. Yeah, so that is the Phage coming out from Corki, so he is going to be getting that Triforce next, and Triforce was actually changed, or Phage is more changed specifically, that it no longer builds into Frozen Mallet either. It only builds into Trinity Force. Frozen Mallet was changed to be pickaxe and a Giant's Belt and a Ruby Crystal. That's just the last fight. So Ultimate goes down from Rumble to try and clear minions off the top tower and force Twisted Fate away from that. Renekton here is going to go in, trying to lay Ashe Arrow onto Renekton. Not going to be able to do enough damage. Lockdown onto Rumble. Rumble's taking all sorts of damage. Stranglethorn goes down, gets the knock up onto Renekton, and Ashe is going to pick up that kill. Ignite is not quite going to pick it up. That last second shield saving Rumble's life. That's got to be kind of annoying. Possibly my biggest pet peeve in League of Legends is getting a good Ignite down to somebody and then having their shield come up last second. Evelyn getting kind of jumped on by Vi and Corgi here, taking an awful lot of damage. She gets knocked up. Vi has her ultimate, but does not get it down in time to stop her from jumping over the wall. Zed drops his death mark onto Sona, but isn't even able to kill the squishy support. So nothing's going to come of that, and Nexus is just going to walk away perfectly fine, and quite possibly in the lead of that exchange, because Sona did not burn her ultimate. The only ultimate, it actually didn't burn any ultimate for that matter. The only ultimate that was burned was Zed's death mark, and couldn't even kill the support. Quick jumping over. Looks like Rumbo's going to get caught out. They're going to burn his ultimate. He's going to get ulted by Vi, get knocked up. Her Q is going to come back off cooldown shortly. He's going to end up taking a lot of punishment. Corki putting down lots of damage. Corki's going to flash for that. Not really sure he needed to, but you know, it's a flash for a kill, so it's worth it in the end. Twisted Fate in the top lane does have his ultimate available. He is a little bit far away from the bottom lane. It's not quite global anymore. It hasn't been for a couple of seasons. So he can't quite help the bottom lane fights. But if he needs to get down to Dragon Pit, all he has to do is run a bit down the river and he can make it. Zed's going to go up and stop him from split pushing too much. Renekton, meanwhile, in the jungle here, going to jump on Evelyn, put all sorts of damage down. Next is going to pick up the dragon in the meantime. Zyra's going to come up here, get a good route down onto him. Bunch of damage traded back and forth, and Evelyn's going to have to run away with the tail between her legs. I guess the advantage that she didn't have to burn her flash, but if she had to, she would have died because her flash is still on cooldown from being cut out earlier. Twisted Fate and Zed, meanwhile, just going to continue to farm. TF's going to pick himself up a bunch more CS, hopefully catch up the 30 or so that he's behind by Zed, but he's a couple of kills and a couple of assists ahead already anyway, so it doesn't make that much of a difference. Zed still doesn't have enough money to even buy his Blade of the Ruined King yet, or you can be sure he'd be back to buy that. He's still, I think, 400 gold away. So he'll have a damage spike when he gets that, but I don't think it's enough at this point. I don't think even Zed jumping on Corki or Sona and killing them before they can do anything in a fight, I'm not sure that's enough to turn it around, because Renekton's tanky enough to withstand all sorts of damage, and Twisted Fate has his Lich Bane already, and Sork Boots, so he's putting out an awful lot of damage as well. Since the Trinity Force change, I guess in Season 3 and then even just now the last patch, the cost on Trinity Force was reduced significantly and only costs, I guess, like 3 more gold than the combined cost from Zeal. So Zeal costs 1178 gold right now, and to combine it actually into the Triforce only takes... Sorry, Triforce costs 1178 and Zeal costs 1175. So once Corki has enough for that next piece, he's going to have enough to finish that Trinity Force, and he's going to become a even bigger monster than he is already. Ashe has only just completed her Infinity Edge as well, so having 1 complete item to 2 complete items is really not a place that you want to be in. Even as kind of a late game hyper carry like Ashe, this isn't late enough for her to be able to match Corki's damage. Ashe gets caught up here, ulted by Vi, and she has absolutely no chance, can't even flash away or anything. She's very, very dead. Good ultimate from Vi, good pick off from them, and without any vision control on in the lane and on the very side, Ashe shouldn't have been that kind of far out. She didn't have her team to back her up at all. Twisted Fate split pushing. He's almost in range to use his ultimate to join the fight, so if somebody comes up to try and stop him from split pushing, he's going to be able to come down and turn that into a 5-on-4 fight. If not, then, well, Complexity is at risk of losing 2 towers. And there's Zed in the top lane. TF, you can see, kind of staying out of sight. He's going to be taking minigames. There's the engagement. Sona ult goes across, gets everybody inside it. Good Stranglethorn goes down from Zyra, but she's not going to be able to save it. Rumble dies. Evelyn dies beforehand. Zyra's very, very low. Ashe coming out of Fountain, freshly respawned, but she's not able to get there in time. Twisted Fate is busy fighting Zed in the top here. He's going to get death marked on. Zed's death mark not being able to finish enough. And Ashe getting jumped on by Renekton. Zyra coming around the side, tries to stop her from dying. Renekton's going to pick up the double kill though. And, this is very, very quickly spiraling way out of control for Complexity. And Nexus has this game firmly in hand. It's their game to lose. I'd be very surprised if we didn't see a Baron attempt coming out from Nexus at this point, because they can force any objective they want. They have a 9,000 gold lead, 9,500 gold lead. Zed's going to be here, jump on Rectum before he's able to recall. Doesn't need to use his death mark. It's already down. Is going to pick up that kill, get that nice shutdown gold. That'd be a really nice pickup for Zed. Help him kind of get a couple more items out there, and maybe, just maybe, he can start jumping on Corki or Sona before the fights really start and turn it into a 4v5 in favor for his team. I think it's kind of interesting, actually, how Ashe has not been able to get all this free farm. But Zed's been the one to go up and clear off the lanes and to take the farm, and it's really kind of setting Ashe behind. She's gotten jumped on a few times, hasn't been able to finish off a second item of any kind yet, and it's really setting her much farther behind than her team might realize, because she really doesn't do any damage. She's got her Infinity Edge, which gives a lot, but she's not in a position to have any kind of defensive item. Oh, there's an arrow, misses Corki, but lands right on Vi. Evelyn's going to try and engage, but Evelyn's going to get absolutely deleted. Vi's going to jump in. She's going to ult onto Ashe. Ashe going to get caught out here. Stranglethorn stops the follow-up from Vi's team. She's going to have to run out. Really, really good play from Jesus Stark there, getting that Zyra ult down. Renekton's going to try and follow up. Doesn't quite have the distance to catch it. Zed's going to recall on the side here, try and join his team for the defense, but I can't get over how quickly Evelyn got deleted there. She tried to engage with the Ashe arrow at the same time, but as soon as Evelyn got in melee range, she just disappeared. She got melted. Cork is going to come up here. They're going to have this tower for free, and there's nothing that Complexity Academy can do to stop Nexus from taking it. If it was me, I might have gone for Baron off that, knowing that the smite was down from Complexity, but at this point, to be honest, I don't even think that Nexus need it. They have such a lead right now, they don't need that extra Baron buff. It's not really worth risking it. They can just come along and finish off the game whenever they're able to. Evelyn getting caught out here. There's the pink ward down. Renekton's going to pick up the last hit. Corky's going to get some very good damage onto Zed. He's going to jump away. Twisted Fate's ultimate comes out. He's going to catch Zed. Living Shadow's down. Gold Card's going to stun him up. Twisted Fate's going to pick up that kill. Deathmark not doing any damage. Zed got stunned before he could do anything. Corky jumping way out of position here. He's going to get jumped on and melted by Ashe, Rumble, and Evelyn. Lots of damage being put down. Good crescendo onto Rumble and Ashe. Twisted Fate flash Gold Card. Dodges a very nice arrow from Ashe. Sona's putting out a lot of damage. Renekton's going to have to get closer, but everyone's a little bit too low health to try and engage, and overall that's a 1 for 2 and a lot more health bar damage done to Complexity Academy. And again, Complexity Academy is trying to fight a little bit more and isn't quite able to pull out the wins. They have the home guard boots. It's going to let them defend a lot more easily than they otherwise would be able to, but I don't even think that's enough. Ashe finally getting some free farm up here. That'll be good for her. Hopefully she'll be able to get a couple items and maybe become the hyper carry that her team needs, because at this point, Nexus Gaming is all too tanky for Zed to pop right away, and they have too much crowd control to lock him down, so he's not able to successfully pick anybody off. It's going to have to be everybody standing in front of Ashe. Fi's going to dash over the wall. She's going to be perfectly fine. But I'm not even sure that Evelyn Zed wanted to fight that, because Corky and Renekton were both close enough at that point to help Vi if she did get into a sticky situation. So you can see the ward control going down around Baron Pit now. It looks like either one of these teams is going to be trying to get a handle on that. But like I said before, Nexus really doesn't need that. They can just have Twisted Fate split pushing a lane and have everybody else sit in mid or bottom and, force down a turret, siege up, and, win the game in the, I guess, slow but safe way. Corky actually picking up his Quicksilver Sash already. He's that far ahead of Ashe. He has his defensive item built and 2 full offensive items built, and she's only kind of halfway done her Phantom Dancer. It's Corky's so far ahead at this point, it's insane, and being able to have that QSS against Zed is really key, because it can remove his Deathmark debuff. So even if he does all sorts of damage in a burst for you, but he's not going to have that extra Deathmark burst and not going to be able to really pop you for the damage that he can do. It's like Sona's going to be here. She's going to clean out Baron Pit. Now they know that Complexity has no vision. Evelyn's on the side here, drops a ward outside the bush. Renekton is going to get the hit there, clean that up. Zed's going to jump onto Corky. Corky's going to remove that death mark. Twisted Fate's going to ult in here. There you go. That's a very, very dead Zed. Great play from Twisted Fate to know that he could come in and help out, and good cleanse from the death mark by Corky. Vi's is going to get the ult on Evelyn before she flashes, so he's going to follow her across the wall. Renekton's going to come up here. He's going to get the stun. Vi's going to finish off that kill, and that should be a free Baron for Nexus. Yeah, despite losing the tower in bottom lane, it hardly even matters at this point. 5 towers to 3, more or less even. Renekton's actually going to dash over the wall, put all sorts of damage down onto Ashe. Ashe is going to get absolutely destroyed. That last wild card coming across the wall from Twisted Fate, going to finish her off. And Zyra being the only one left alive after a good jump across the wall by the entire team. She's going to try and get some extra farm up here, I guess. No, Twisted Fate's going to come up. He's going to throw the wild card in her face. Goodbye, Zyra. Half her health down in 1 hit. That's going to be Baron buff for all 5 members of Nexus, and 20-5 kill lead, 48,700 gold to 33,700 gold. You did the math. That's 15,000 gold difference at 27 minutes. That's insane. So much damage coming out from every single member of Nexus at this point. Even Renekton, who normally just builds tanky, he's far enough ahead that he knows he can get some extra damage, and he's grabbed his Ravenous Hydra there. That'll let him clear waves even faster and become a monster presence, even more than he already is in team fights, by laying down just that AoE damage all over the place. With Korg's going to pick up the red buff here. That's going to let him kite out a little bit better. And yeah, like I said, I don't see any way that Complexity can come back and win this, short of like a Vulcan-style throw from Nexus. Next, going to be grouping up here in the mid lane. Looks like Twisted Fate's going to, but he's going to split push bottom. That ultimate from him is going to be giving him the global presence. He's going to be able to come and help his team out in a fight if he's needed. Evelyn waiting around the side could get a flank off, but even if she does, I don't see Nexus losing that fight. Double wars going down here from Complexity. No Oracle on Sona right now. They can't clear those out, but that lets Complexity know exactly where Nexus is standing, exactly what everybody's doing. Zed over here in the bottom lane, he's going to start clearing out those wards, and when Nexus sees that he's not there, they know that they're going to be able to fight that 4-on-4 and turn it into a 4-on-5 with Twisted Fate's ultimate. Twisted Fate's staying back. He thinks he's going to get attacked, I think, but either that or he's just walking in circles for no reason. He's kind of waiting off on the side so that Complexity doesn't know where he is. He's going to be able to follow up with an ult. Pings do go down, telling him to kind of advance. Either he pushes that lane or he comes around to ult on the side. He doesn't quite have a Zonius yet, but he's already finished off his death cap. He's going to be putting out so much damage. And all that Nexus has to do is just keep sieging this up and take down the tower. That's a big one coming out from Corki. All sorts of damage being thrown down. And although each individual rocket doesn't deal a lot, he's got 7 that he can keep shooting, and they continually recharge. And Rumble is just taken down to below a quarter health. Zed's going to jump on Twisted Fate. Twisted Fate's going to lock in that gold card. He's going to get the duel. Deathmark's going to pop. Goodbye, Twisted Fate. Zed's at half health, and now, at this point, if Complexity's going to fight under the tower, it might as well be now. Tower goes down. They don't really have a chance. That's what Twisted Fate was split pushing for. Kind of gave his life for the tower. Vi looking like she wants to engage. If she can get a grab on a carry, she's going to go for it. Can't quite the knockdown. The inhibitor is going to fall. There goes the Rumble. Equalizer goes down. Corki has to Valkyrie off that. Good Stranglethorn's down. Gets a good knock up. Ash Arrow from the side gets a good lockdown onto Corki. Corki's going to end up killing her anyway. She's going to end up falling. Here's a good damage from Zed coming out. He's going to get all sorts of people shredded, but he can't do enough. Rumble falls. Ash falls. Evelyn falls. Everybody's dying. And, 1 for 3, 1 for 4. Zed's going to end up falling. That's the ace. 1 for 5. Twisted Fate gave his life for the tower, the inhibitor, and eventually the game. There you go. That's the surrender vote coming out to finish it before they destroy the Nexus. And that's GG. Nexus Gaming coming out victorious over Complexity Academy in a much more one-sided game than it was the first time around. So, thanks a lot, everybody. We're going to go to a quick commercial break. I'm going to throw some MSI ads at you, so thank you very much to all our sponsors, and thank you everybody who's here watching the stream. Hope you're enjoying the League of Legends action, and stick around.